Hey everybody, welcome back to another layout update. It's been a little while since the last one, so I figured I'd hop on and show you a bunch of the progress we've been making over the last couple of weeks here. As you can see by the intro and what we're looking at here, the overpass over Himrod Junction for the NS Corning Secondary is finally installed, and we're able to run trains in and out of Gang Mills Yard. That's the first big change. This bridge had sat here for quite a while, just mocked up, but we finally have gotten it installed, and we've been running trains over it for the last couple of days here, just making sure kinks are worked out and everything's working well. But that's not the only change, so stay tuned, and we'll take a look at what else is new. All right, so one of the non-layout work rabbit holes that I went down this past couple of weeks was prototype loads. And the first one on the left here is a scrap load that'll come out of the Auburn Metal Processing plant in Auburn. That's a metal recycler. That's an ex-Soltran RMLX, patched out for RMLX, custom weathered it, and used steel wool to create a prototype load for this one. And then the rest of these three gons are rebar loads that'll come out of the Nucor plant in Auburn. These ones are 26 gauge stranded tag wire is what the metal is. And then I just kind of did a little bit of weathering on the wire itself. They look a little shinier on the camera than they really do in person. I did a little bit to kind of make them not shine quite as much, but they look good. I'm happy with how they look, and they add a little bit of weight to the cars, which is kind of nice because they they don't like to derail quite as much with the weight in there. But these are the two exact rail gons that I picked up in the last layout update as well. These are now again both custom weathered with graffiti, and you can't really see them, but the trucks are done as well. And then again the rebar loads. There is some 28 gauge bead wire is what the little black parts are that are holding the loads, or each strand or each package of wire together, I guess you could call it. And then there is some small, it's like 3/16, I think, balsa wood strips in there is what's separating them. So those were really fun to make. I've got a ton of extra material that I'm thinking about making a couple more loads with. I'm not sure, but overall I'm really happy with how these turned out, and they're really going to help to add a little bit more realism to the layout. So all right, so now that we've flipped around to the other side here, you can see that we've also completed the installation of Gang Mills Yard itself. So this is just going to be a little 4-track stub end staging yard with a runaround, so that when you run your train in on H06, you can actually run around the train in order to work the rest of it. But and then I just threw in a couple of locomotive storage tracks on the end here as well, just to have a place to store any Norfolk Southern power that I have for the layout. But yeah, so far this has been running really well. This particular area of the layout took quite some time to get right. I had originally in my plans, this area was going to sit about 2 inches lower, and there was going to be a grade coming off of the overpass and down into Gang Mills Yard. But it ended up being that the curve here, which is 25-inch radius, was going to be a little bit too tight on top of a very steep hill to get up to the overpass bridge. So we ended up going out and getting another 2-inch piece of foam and bringing the layout up another 2 inches right here, so that everything could just sit level, and it works very much a lot smoother now. So this area here eventually will get landscaped into a hill, so that it's not like a sharp cliff. There's no such area along the Himrod Junction area of the Finger Lakes. So we'll make sure it looks a little bit more realistic than a straight sheer cliff at some point. But yeah, overall really happy with how Gang Mills Yard has turned out. This is just a staging yard. It's not actually, prototypically accurate for the real Gang Mills yard by any means. But it gives us a place to originate our HO6 job. And actually, the coolest thing about this yard was the fact that with its addition, I officially had enough capacity on the layout to pull every single freight car that I have out of their boxes, and they now have a home on the layout rather than there just not being room for anything to be here. But so this isn't the only change, though. We do have one other thing to talk about, and I'll take you over there now. All right, so we're back here at Himrod Junction, and as I pan to the left here, you're going to be able to see the next big change that happened on the layout, and that is that once you go through Himrod Junction, you don't go straight into Watkins Glen anymore. We made the decision to pull out all of the track that was here in Watkins Glen, or the old Watkins Glen area of the layout, and made the decision that we're actually going to model Himrod Yard now. And then there'll be future plans discussed for Watkins Glen itself. But as you can see, Himrod Yard is kind of a unique yard. It's just 2 tracks in the main. And then the way it looks in real life is the main and one of the tracks are pretty close to each other. And then there's a big gap between track 1 of the yard and track 2 of the yard. And in that big gap, there's a yard office. There's a ramp to load and unload. I think they do gravel on it. I'm not 100% sure, but I might have enough room for the ramp, but I definitely don't have enough room for the yard office, unfortunately, in between the tracks. I just kind of was trying to capture the look of Himrod Yard in the space that I have. And Himrod Yard is actually a very, very long yard as well, which I unfortunately just do not have the space for. So this is just big enough to kind of occupy, maybe a couple more cars than what's in here now. But, it doesn't really need to, serve a lot of capacity here. So we're happy with what we've got here. I've been running HW2 in and out of here a couple times now up to Penn Yan, and everything seems to be working out well. And we're overall just happy with all the changes on the layout so far in this past couple of weeks. But that is about all I have for this layout update, and we got plenty more changes to come. So I'm sure I'll be back on with another layout update as soon as more progress is made. But if you enjoyed what you saw here, be sure to hit the subscribe button. If you're not subscribed already, hit the like button, and let me know what you think down in the comments. But that's about it. Thanks, guys, and we'll see you in the next one.